4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
What's going on, guys? I fixed it in your face. Daniel, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for the information I provide. It's free. You can help me by doing those things. Before we get started here, we're going to give our channel sponsor a shout out, which is Josh is the CEO. He is a whatnot seller. Very, very cool. His team of people are very awesome. Basically, he sells shoes for a fraction of what retail MSRP would be. They are basically, I would consider kind of resellers. And they do a very good job. I have picked up a lot of merchandise from these guys. They keep my feet looking very, very fresh for a fraction of the price of MSRP. So if you guys are looking for a nice set of kicks to rock, I suggest checking out Josh and his crew. If you click on his link, it is a referral link. You will automatically get $10 towards your first purchase across the entire Whatnot app, regardless of whether you spend it with Josh or anybody else. You'll immediately get that $10. To get kicked off. But I promise you, if you guys check out Josh and bookmark all of his shows that he has, I think you'll be quite impressed. He does giveaways all the time. Super, super friendly, charismatic individual. His whole team are very, very friendly. I've bought a number of shoes from them now. He keeps my feet looking very fresh. Without further ado, let's get to the content. Okay, guys, today I'm going to teach you how to brand acrylic paint instead of marking paper, because marking paper is really expensive. This little sheet of marking paper is $5. And acrylic paint is $1.25. I can do around like 40 to 50 cups with this $1.25 container of satin acrylic paint from the Dollar Tree. And of course, you got all these Dollar Tree mugs. But today, we're going to make a mug, and I want to show you guys what that looks like when they're done. Acrylic normally brands out as gray, and then when you add liquid to it, it's very visible and easy to see. So when people get beer and stuff, you can see the engravings on these things very easily. So let's do one together. You're going to need a fine tip brush, which is what this is. This is, you can, once again, Dollar Tree. You can get all your stuff from Dollar Tree. Get a whole bunch of brushes. This entire thing of fine brushes was $1.25, and this one came in it. We're going to grab a mug, we're going to go over here, and we're going to clean this off with some dish soap so that we make sure we have a very good curing patch on this. And we'll clean it off with glass cleaner, and then we'll paint it on, and we'll go from there. Let me set up the tripod so we can do this together. So I'm going to be painting 4 mugs at the same time, so we're just going to drop all these in real quick, because normally when I do paint, instead of cleaning the brush multiple times, I like to just, you know, use the paint that I've got in my little container all at one time. So let's clean these real quick. I'll speed this up. Okay, guys, so take your acrylic paint, give it a good shake, put a nice hefty blob in here because I'm doing 4 mugs. That should be enough. And I'm going to double dip on both sides, and we're going to start laying it down. Try to be as smooth as possible. Seriously, you want like as smooth as you can possibly get. You don't want to see any of the glass through it, but you also want as smooth a lines as you can get them. So not tons of pressure, just light, nice coatings. Light coatings. That's it. So now I can see I've got some big run lines, so I'm just going to lightly, barely put any brush pressure on here and just drag it across until I get all those lines nice and finely smoothed out. And there we go. That is literally 1 mug ready to be branded. I am going to put a little extra on the end here just to make sure that if I have to overlap, I can. So we'll do that. And you don't have to paint nearly as big a lines as I am. You can take it much easier. I'm barely putting any pressure on this brush and dragging it, because the less lines that you have, the better. So that's one done. Then we wait for that to dry. I'm going to paint the rest of these because I've got more cups to make after the one I show you. So let's lay this down first. Get a nice even flow going. And then I'll show you how I prop this up. There we go. I paint the whole glass just because you don't have to. It's probably a huge waste, to be honest with you, but there's so much paint and it's so hard to judge exactly how much paint you need and how big your emblem's going to be that you'll be putting on here and all that stuff. So anyways, I just like to give everything a nice solid coat. That's what I try to do. And the reality is, the place that I'm going to be branding literally only probably needs to be this big right here. Like, that's literally the amount of space I should be painting, but I always try to give myself extra room. So on this one, we'll go ahead and just paint the spot that I know I'm going to be branding so that you guys have a better idea of how big your spot really needs to be. It really only needs to be about like that. So I just paint the whole thing so I can guarantee that I have nice, even flowing lines. But we'll go ahead and just do that one just like that. We'll do one how you should do it so that you can have a good idea of how this should look. Alright, so that's about all you need right there. But there you go. Let these dry. Should take about, I don't know, 10 minutes, and then we'll be good to go. When you guys are done, clean your brush. This acrylic paint is water soluble, so even if it dries, it'll just come off with some hot water. The only time it'll stick is if it's heated up with a laser and then branded to something. But other than that, clean your brush. It's reusable every single time. Clean your container. It takes just a couple seconds to wash this stuff off. And then let this dry. Make sure there's no paint left in it. Grab a little napkin here. Squeeze the tip and get a lot of that water out. Like that, and then just let it naturally dry. Alright, it's been sitting in front of my fan for about 5 minutes, as you can see. Nice and dry. And the one thing that I do is find household items that work perfect for this, because we want this to be flush. And so what I do is I take my DAJA, right? I have the legs on it. I set this down right in the middle, and that props up the handle to keep it from moving. It also gives me room to put my DAJA right over the top of it, like so. See what I'm saying? And then I pull the glass back until the handle over here in the corner makes contact with the leg, and then I squeeze both of these together on both sides, and then I know that the mug is directly where I want it to be. It is directly in the middle. Now I can move this over a little bit if I want to center this, but if I want this to be at its highest point, I just go until it makes contact with the leg on that one side. So I find spaghetti boxes work really great for the perfect height for mugs and things like that. Also coffee mugs, same principle. 2 spaghetti boxes, set your DAJA on top, and then all you have to do is tune your focal point when this is on to its smallest little dot, and then use the shield to make sure it's absolutely as small as you can possibly get it into a pinprick. And that lets you know that you're going to maximize your heat zone. That also lets you not run your laser so hot. So by having the tip to its absolute smallest little pinprick of a dot using this, you can actually turn your power levels down. And then what I do is I slide my fan right on over here. So the first thing I'm going to do with you guys before we put you on the stand over here is we're going to go through and we're going to set this up. Okay, grab my chair. There, I got my tablet over here. We're going to open the engraving software. This is before we even get going on any of the other stuff. We're going to choose our picture. All right, in this case, I think we're going to do Let's do drinking buddies. That sounds fun. That sounds fun. If you don't want to do so much black, like let's say we chose this picture over here, that's a lot of black, right? And you can invert this photo if you want to. Now I'm choosing not to. I don't want to invert it. But if you invert it, I'll show you what happens here. So you know what? Screw it. We'll just do this one. We'll use this photo just to show you guys how invert works. You don't have to use invert, but if you don't want so much black, come on, there we go. You don't want so much black being in it, then you can invert it. So once we have cropped our image, I'm going to click right here, and then we'll go to next. Now, normally a laser engraver only focuses on black, but that's a lot of black. What if I invert it? Boom. So now we've actually created more black and done the opposite effect. So now everything that was white is now black. Everything that was black is now white. So that's too much. I think we'll go with that. That looks good. That looks like a fun one. So we've got our picture chosen. Next, we're going to come over here. We're going to turn this on. Whoops. I think I need to... Give me 1 sec. I got to put you on the tripod here. Okay, so I got you guys over there. I'm going to try not to hit this thing. But what we're going to do now is in the engraver software, which most of you guys probably know how to use your engraver software by now. I have a fan on because we're going to be running 75% power, and I always want the fan blowing on the laser head. But before we get started, and I've already set my diode because I do mugs every single day, so this one is always properly set up for mugs. What I'm going to do, slide this up underneath there, lock it into place, because I want to record this for you. And the problem is the laser is so bright that if that's not on there, you will actually damage the lens on your camera as it stares at the laser. So let's get this kicked off here. We're going to turn this on. I already know that my dot is exactly the size that it should be, so I don't need to set it. So what we are going to do now is hit next on the engraver software. I'm going to tell you what my power and speed settings are. Okay? And what we're going to do is get this lined up on the mug. So let's see where our region is right now. So the idea, I know this is going to be really hard to show this to you because I got to be able to see what I'm doing too without hitting the camera constantly. Obviously, the further the lens goes over, the dot goes over the edge of the glass like this, you lose heat. So we actually have to make this a lot smaller. So we're going to shrink it. And I'm going to pay attention to exactly where it's at on here. Yep, we're going to go even smaller. There we go. And then I'm going to move this all the way up to the top, and then we're going to center it in the middle of the glass. Let me see where we're at here. Perfect. Perfect. All right, let me see it from this side. Perfect. That's going to be a good size logo, and it's not bending so far over the glass that it's not going to be able to create the heat that we need. So for this one though, I'm actually going to brand at 80% power and 30% speed, so I'm going to cut that off. Let's stop that from doing that. So on the next one, I'm going to set this for 80% power. I want this one to burn hot because we're going into the edges of the glass a little further than I'd like to, so we definitely want to turn the heat up. And then we're going to run the speed at 30. This is going to take a while because we're not running this fast. But I'm going to hit start, and in about 30 minutes, we should have a finished mug, and then we'll show you the next step to this. So I'm just going to record the whole process and let you guys watch this thing brand until it's done. This has to lay a lot of black line, so this is going to take a while. So make sure that your fan is pushed right up there to where the laser head can be hit. I'm going to open the window now so it can blow the fumes out of the house. That's the other reason for the fan, is that the window's right here and the fan sits right here, keeps the unit cool, and it blows the fumes directly out the window. So 2 reasons why the fan is there. Alrighty guys, I'll see you when this is done. Enjoy the sped up footage. Okay guys, that took roughly an hour. I had that one running nice and slow. We're going to remove the shield here. Set the head back down. We will pick this up. We're going to leave the fan on that for a minute just to help with the cooling. And as you can see, this came out pretty darn good. But what do we need to do? We need to wash it off. We need to wash it off and see how well it's stuck. I normally don't like to do full filled engravings like this because they take a long time, but I did want to do an in-depth one with you guys and show you how that works. So turn on the water to hot. We're going to wash this off. You don't have to wait. It's acrylic water based, so it'll start to peel really easily once it's put under some hot water, and it'll almost peel itself. See, once it gets going, it'll just keep going. And just set it on there. Whatever doesn't come off, help it come off. Like so. There we go. So this is what we consider frosting a mug. When you use acrylics like this, you're frosting the glass with the acrylic. You get all this off of there. And you can see it just peels off in one big wad. Make sure this is nice and clean. Just going to give it a good rub down with my finger first. And then we'll go ahead and pull it out. And there you go. We have a frosted mug. So let's dry it off. I'll stick a piece of yellow paper in there. I print out yellow paper, as I call it, display paper. It's meant to look like it has beer in the mug so that it makes what they're buying a lot easier to see. So let me clear this off. I'll drop a piece of printed yellow paper that I have, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And there you go. With the yellow piece of paper in there, it makes it a lot easier for them to see what they're purchasing. And yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, I normally don't like to do full filled in ones like this just because I don't think they come out as good as thin line stuff, but that was just an idea of how that looks for you guys. So I'll show you a few more. That's the one we just finished. Let me put this piece of paper in a few more and I'll show you what they look like. So these are more or less the ones that I like to do, the letters and words. I just think they come out a lot better, but that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Here's another one. Drink responsibly, don't spill it. Here's another good one. I got two pieces of paper in this one, but there you go. See, stuff like this, these smaller engravings, I always feel that they look way better, but there you go. That's how you do it. It's really simple. I normally don't do large scale ones like that just because I think the color flow on them comes out a little bit on the weird side. And in this case, we basically invert that image in some sense to, normally I like the words to be what it's branding. In this case, we did the brand around the words and stuff. So it always comes out a little bit more unique when you do it that way. But like I said, when you actually brand the words and stuff to the glass, I think in my opinion, it just looks way better branding the words. But I wanted to give you kind of an idea of the differences. So there you go. So in this one, it's all see-through. Whereas normally I would brand, you know, the image in black so that that's all you're getting is the writing and stuff. But now you have an idea of how that works. So there you go.